In this video, we will learn how to record music live from a MIDI keyboard directly into Sibelius. So you'll need to have your computer attached to a MIDI keyboard to do this. You do have another option in Sibelius 6, which is the on-screen keyboard. This button here will turn it on, and you can now click on notes to enter them. Or if you click this little button here, it maps one octave of the keyboard onto the keys A, S, D, F, G, H, J, K on your keyboard with white and black notes. So you can actually play using the keys on your computer to enter notes. However, that isn't going to work for a live melody that you'd like to play in, which is what we want to play in using the cello instrument. So we're going to record that in live off a MIDI keyboard. Before you start off, the best thing to go is to go to the Notes menu and go to FlexiTime Options. The reason is that you can set things up here to make sure that Sibelius gives you clean notation or transcription of what you play. Firstly, there is actually a feature called FlexiTime here where the metronome will actually follow your speed if you wish it to. You can turn it off and make it a normal metronome if you prefer. So that's a more traditional way of using a timing click. The next thing is voices. There is an option to record into multiple voices, particularly for things like piano and guitar, to show multiple rhythms at once. However, in this case, we're just recording a cello, so we'll just choose one voice for entry. Now go to the Notation tab and you'll see Other Important Settings. Where it says Adjust Rhythms, it's important to set this up before you record. Think about what is the shortest note that you want it to display. So actually, in this particular case, quarter note is actually going to be the shortest note value. So Sibelius will actually auto-correct my playing based on that setting, so it's notated nice and clearly. So the notation won't need cleaning up. There are other settings on this same screen that you can also experiment with, and it will depend a little bit on how good your keyboard skills are. Once that's all set up, click OK, and you can choose from where you want to record simply by selecting a bar. Now we've selected a bar, you can now hit the record button, and here's a handy hint for recording. If your keyboard chops are not that great, you can actually slow down the tempo of the song so that the song's playing a little slower, and you can speed it up later, and you might get better results when you play in live using that. So let's hit the record button, and Sibelius will give me a bar for nothing, and then you can play. And you can press the spacebar or escape to finish recording. Now let's review the recording. It looks like it went pretty well, so we won't need to make too many changes. What do we need to fix? Well, at one point Sibelius has spelt the C sharp as a D flat. That's probably because we're in E flat major and Sibelius is trying to guess what the enharmonic is. We can, however, easily fix this. Simply highlight the bar, hold down Shift and click in the next bar, and simply press the return key or Enter on Windows, and that will actually respell the note as an enharmonic, in this case a D flat rather than a C sharp, or a C sharp rather than a D flat. Now we're missing a few dynamics and phrasing marks, so let's look at those a little bit later. We can certainly add some phrase marks right now though. So click on the first note that you'd need a phrase mark to begin on, and then type S. This will add a slur to the next note. Don't hold down the letter S. You can click and drag on it, but actually Once it's on the screen, you can hit the space bar and it will space it out one note at a time. If you need another slur later on, click on a note, type S, and use the space bar to extend it if you need. And you'll see that it's very easy to add phrase marks very quickly. A couple more later on in the score. Click on a note, type S. Now, when you're working with phrase markings or slurs, when you zoom in on it, you'll see that the slur has got actually several points on it. And you can actually click and drag on any of these points to reshape the slur if you need to, including making it do some rather weird things. In this case, that's really not what we need, so let's do a simple default slur.